Gran Turismo 7 has just dropped its latest update, and it's a gearhead's dream come true. Today, we're diving into 4 new additions that are revving up the virtual tarmac. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below on which one of these 4 cars you're going to be taking around the track, and make sure you hit that bell notification to see when I post next. This is the Gran Turismo F3500-A, Gran Turismo's take on an F1 car. This isn't a car that exists, it's what cars wish they could be. It's a mix of 90s F1 lunacy and futuristic body mods, making it look like it was built for pod racing in Monaco. Gran Turismo finally decided that reality just wasn't good enough. The 3.5-liter V12 screams like an over-caffeinated banshee and will make you question every quiet turbocharged engine you've ever driven. It revs to 15,000 RPMs, which is absurd because your air jumps don't even go that high. Want extra aero? You got it. Need bigger wings? Slap them on. It's like a Hot Wheel car is designed for a 10-year-old with zero concern for physics. It's got a customizable bodywork because why not? Blink at the wrong time and you're in the barriers, but if you do get it right, it's the best F1 experience without a $100 million budget. Driving it feels like balancing a pencil on your finger at 200 miles per hour. And Interlagos is where this thing belongs. The fast curves, long straights, and technical braking zones make this track a perfect place to pretend you're Ayrton Senna, just with way more downforce. This is the Honda Civic Si Extra EF 1987. The 80 Civic was proof that even economy cars could be exciting unless you had one with an automatic. This one, thankfully, comes with a 5-speed manual and Honda ZC engine, making it the cheapest way to feel like a 90s street racer. Front-wheel drive means you'll never spin out, but it also means you're doing all of the work. This thing grips, it turns, but if you're expecting a tell-happy madness, you'll be disappointed. It's a Civic, not a drift missile. It only has 118 horsepower, but that's 118 angry horsepower. This car doesn't do 0 to 60 in the blink of an eye, but it will make you feel like you're setting lap records, even if a delivery van overtakes you. It's lightweight, it's simple, and it's basically a go-kart. At just over 2,000 pounds, this thing makes modern Civics look like SUVs. It's what happens when you take just enough car out to make it brilliant. At Kyoto Driving Park, it's its playground. Tight, technical, and just twisty enough to make this old hatchback feel like an absolute weapon. This is the Hyundai IONIQ 5N. Hyundai has officially entered its villain arc. The IONIQ 5N is what happens when a practical EV drinks 6 energy drinks and then decides to ruin supercars for a fraction of the price. It's an electric car that wants to go sideways. Unlike other EVs that stick to the road like glue, this one has a drift mode, because who doesn't want a power slide in their family crossover? 640 horsepower with an overboost button, because why not? Yes, Hyundai gave this thing a push to pass button. That means at any given moment you can unleash hell on unsuspecting traffic. It weighs as much as a small planet, but it still corners like a rally car. At over 4,600 pounds, it should be a disaster in the corners, but it isn't. Hyundai's engineers must have sold their souls to the physics gods. At Sardinia Road Track C, this is where it'll shock you. It has fast straights, sharp corners, and elevation changes? Perfect. This car is proof that EVs aren't just about efficiency, they're about domination. This is a Toyota CHR S 2018. Toyota decided to take a sensible crossover and then sprinkle in some Nürburgring DNA. Yes, this thing actually raced at the 24 hours of Nürburgring, which means you can drop the kids off at school and you pretend you're a race car driver. It's a crossover that actually wants to turn. Most SUVs feel like a boat in the corners, but this one, it's more like a kayak. It's got quick steering, decent grip, and just enough fun to make you forget it's a family car. It's not fast, but it's also not boring. With just under 140 horsepower, you won't be winning any drag races, but put it in a tight track, and it suddenly becomes a fun piece of machinery. Toyota calls it sporty, but let's be honest, it's a warm hatch wearing hiking boots. This is what happens when a Corolla and a RAV4 basically have an identity crisis. I brought it to Eiger Norwind to show off its tight corners and fast transitions to make it feel shockingly capable for what the car actually is. The F3500-A, it's the fastest way to experience open-wheeled madness without needing a billion-dollar F1 contract. The Civic Si Extra, the slowest car here, but probably the most fun to actually drive. The IONIQ 5N, an EV with a personality disorder, and that's a good thing. The CHRS, because sometimes you want a little Nürburgring in your daily commute. Gran Turismo 7's latest update proves that no matter your style, formula cars, hot hatches, electric monsters, or practical crossovers, there's always something to keep you entertained. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to see if I can get that IONIQ 5N to actually drift.